Welcome back, cherished viewers, as we continue our journey through the foundational narratives of Genesis. In our last discussion, we witnessed a world cleansed by water and the miraculous preservation of life within the ark, guided by God's faithfulness. We concluded with Noah, his family, and all the creatures stepping onto a pristine, renewed earth, and Noah's immediate act of profound worship, building an altar to the Lord. This act of devotion was met with a divine promise. Never again would all life be cut off by a flood. Today, we delve into the unfolding of this new beginning. We'll explore God's fresh commands for a repopulated world, the enduring sign of His covenant, and the incredible story of how humanity from a single family began to spread across the globe, giving rise to all the nations we know. This is the narrative of creation renewed, of divine purpose reaffirmed, and of the diverse tapestry of humankind beginning to weave itself. It's a story that bridges the cataclysm of the past with the promise of the future, setting the stage for all of human history to come. Prepare to witness the blueprint for a new era, an era marked by a profound covenant that arches across the heavens, an unexpected human drama that reveals our enduring vulnerabilities, and the extraordinary expansion of Noah's descendants who would become the ancestors of every single person on earth. This chapter is not merely an ancient account. It's the very inception of human civilization as we understand it, deeply rooted in God's ongoing relationship with His creation, demonstrating His enduring patience and His meticulous design for life on our planet. As Noah and his family stood on the freshly washed, vibrant earth, surveying a landscape scoured clean yet bursting with potential, the Lord spoke directly to them. His voice, perhaps resonating with the very winds that dried the land, set the stage for humanity's future. He blessed them, reiterating the powerful, foundational command first given to Adam and Eve at the dawn of creation. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. This wasn't just a suggestion, it was a divine imperative, a monumental mission to repopulate and cultivate the world anew, to spread life and civilization to every corner of the planet. Imagine the enormity of this task, facing a world transformed, with only 8 souls to begin the vast project of repopulation and reconstruction. It required immense faith and an understanding of God's unwavering support. Alongside this foundational command came new provisions and responsibilities, reflecting the new reality of the post-flood world. While humanity's original diet in Eden was purely vegetarian, God now granted permission to eat meat, a significant shift in the divine diet for humanity. This change perhaps acknowledges the profound ecological and environmental transformations that occurred after the deluge, requiring different means of sustenance for the burgeoning human population. However, this permission came with a solemn and crucial instruction. The life represented by the blood of the animal was to be revered and not consumed. This was a powerful reminder that life belongs to God, and even in consuming, a reverence for the life source was to be maintained. Furthermore, the sanctity of human life, often disregarded in the wicked world before the flood, was now fiercely upheld and profoundly emphasized. The shedding of human blood, the act of murder, was forbidden with the utmost gravity, for humanity was made and remains made in the very image of God. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed, for God made man in His own image. This established a critical moral framework, a universal law for the New World Order. It placed an inherent, incalculable value on every human life, serving as the bedrock for justice and communal harmony in the society that was to emerge. This principle alone would become a cornerstone of righteous governance and civil law throughout history, underlining the divine protection of human dignity. But the beating heart of this new beginning, more significant than any command or provision, was the profound covenant God established. This was not merely a promise to Noah and his family, but a sweeping, universal pledge extended to all their future descendants and indeed to every living creature on the earth. It was an unconditional, unilateral promise from the Creator himself, a divine assurance that echoes through the ages. I establish my covenant with you. Never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of a flood, nor shall there ever again be a flood to destroy the earth. This covenant demonstrates God's incredible patience, his long-suffering nature, and his boundless mercy, choosing to sustain life despite humanity's continued propensity toward sin. And then God gave a beautiful, visible, and enduring sign of this everlasting promise. I set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When the arch of vibrant colors appears after the rain, stretching majestically across the sky, it serves as God's own reminder, a testament to his unwavering faithfulness and his unbreakable oath. It's a promise of divine restraint, a visible assurance woven into the very fabric of nature that even amidst the storms of life, the kind of cataclysmic divine judgment by water will not recur. For us, gazing upon a rainbow is more than just appreciating a meteorological phenomenon. It's an invitation to remember God's character, his grace, and his commitment to his creation. It's a beacon of hope, reminding us that grace triumphs and that a new morning, filled with divine promise, always follows the darkest night. It speaks of a God who, even in his judgment, provides a path for renewal and pledges a future. With God's blessings and covenant firmly in place, life began anew for Noah and his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They, along with their wives, became the founding family of all subsequent humanity. They settled and began the arduous yet hopeful task of cultivating the land, a return to the foundational human endeavor of working the earth. Noah, being an experienced farmer, took up his tools and planted a vineyard. This simple, seemingly ordinary act of agriculture, a gesture towards rebuilding normalcy and providing for the future, however, tragically led to an unexpected and deeply revealing turn in the narrative. After making wine from his harvest, Noah drank too much and, unfortunately, lay uncovered and vulnerable in his tent, succumbing to human frailty. What followed was a moment that profoundly revealed the character of his sons and carried lasting symbolic implications for their future lines. Ham, upon discovering his father in this exposed and vulnerable state, acted with shocking disrespect. Instead of covering his father or showing reverence for his elder, he went out and callously told his 2 brothers about their father's condition. This act was not merely gossip. In ancient cultures, to expose one's parent, especially in such a private and undignified manner, was an act of profound disrespect and shaming. In stark contrast, Shem and Japheth, demonstrating filial piety, wisdom, and sensitivity, took a garment, walked backward into the tent so as not to gaze upon their father's nakedness, and carefully covered him. Their actions spoke volumes about their respect for their father's dignity and their understanding of their own role in protecting it. When Noah eventually awoke and learned of what had transpired, he uttered a prophecy concerning his sons and their descendants. This was not a curse born of spite, but a prophetic declaration reflecting the spiritual and moral dispositions revealed by their actions. He cursed Canaan, Ham's son, declaring him to be a servant to his brothers, foreshadowing the future subjugation and displacement of the Canaanites by the descendants of Sem, the Israelites. It's crucial to understand this wasn't a blanket condemnation of all Ham's descendants, but specifically of the line of Canaan, due to a specific transgression and its spiritual implications. Conversely, Noah blessed Shem, declaring that the Lord, the God of Shem, would be praised, indicating a special spiritual lineage and the line through which God's redemptive plan would unfold. He also blessed Japheth, stating that God would enlarge his territory and that he would dwell in the tents of Shem, signifying a future of expansion and a spiritual connection with the line of Shem. This brief but powerful narrative highlights the importance of respect for elders, the consequences of actions, and subtly begins to lay out the future paths and destinies of humanity's emerging family lines. Noah lived for many years after the flood, seeing his family grow and spread. Indeed, he lived another 350 years after the flood, reaching the venerable age of 950 years. This longevity allowed him to witness the early stages of humanity's repopulation and diversification. And as the generations unfolded, Genesis records a remarkable and incredibly detailed genealogy known as the Table of Nations in chapter 10. This is an extraordinary document, meticulously tracing the descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, mapping out how the entire earth was populated by them. It's a unique historical record that transcends mere family trees, serving as a geographical and ethnological blueprint for the post-flood world. From Japheth came the peoples who largely settled in the northern and western regions, stretching into what we now know as Europe and parts of Asia Minor. His descendants are often associated with the early Indo-European peoples inhabiting the coastlands and islands. Then came the prolific lineage of Ham, whose descendants spread into Africa and the Near East, including the powerful nations of Egypt, Mizraim, Ethiopia, Cush, Libya, Put, and the various tribes of Canaan, as well as the early builders of significant Mesopotamian cities like Babylon, through Nimrod. Finally, from Shem came the Semitic peoples, establishing themselves primarily in the Middle East, including the ancestors of the Aramaeans, Assyrians, Elamites, and most significantly, the Hebrews, from whom Abraham would eventually descend. Table of Nations is far more than just a dry list of names. It's a profound theological and historical statement. It serves as irrefutable biblical proof that despite the vast diversity of languages, cultures, and geographical locations that would soon emerge, all humanity shares a common ancestry. Every single person on Earth, regardless of race or nationality, can trace their lineage back to Noah and his 3 sons. It underscores our shared humanity, our singular origin, and the divine plan for humanity to spread and fill the entire planet, building diverse civilizations and cultures. It's a powerful counter-narrative to any notion of inherent racial superiority or separation, emphasizing a unified human family. So, what profound lessons can we draw from this pivotal segment of Genesis, encompassing the New Covenant, the human frailty in Noah's tent, and the sprawling Table of Nations? Firstly, we witness God's unwavering commitment to His creation, His long-suffering patience, and His enduring grace, even after delivering a just judgment. His covenant with Noah, sealed by the beautiful rainbow, is a timeless reminder of His grace and mercy, assuring us that His promises are steadfast and His restraint is real. It speaks to a God who, despite human failings and recurrent sin, always offers new beginnings and holds back His full wrath, providing a constant arc of hope. Secondly, we see the very beginning of human civilization post-flood, marked by both obedience to divine commands and, unexpectedly, by the persistence of human moral challenges. The story of Noah's vineyard reminds us that even righteous individuals, those who walked faithfully with God, are still susceptible to human weakness and error. It's a sobering reminder that our fallen nature endures, and that our actions, both good and bad, have consequences, shaping the destinies of generations. Most importantly, the Table of Nations provides a powerful, irrefutable testimony to the unity of humans' origin, even amidst the spectacular diversity that would soon lead to different languages, cultures, and nations. It underscores that all nations, all peoples, stem from a common source, a single family emerging from the ark, and are therefore interconnected, all under the watchful eye and sovereignty of the same Creator. It's a universal family tree, teaching us humility, interconnectedness, and the grand scale of God's plan for humanity. This narrative reinforces that God's plan for humanity to flourish and fill the earth remained unbroken, enduring even through the most cataclysmic events. It's a story of continuity, of divine foresight, and of the rich, complex tapestry of human history beginning to unfold. Each thread intricately linked back to that single, miraculously preserved family emerging from the ark onto a fresh, new world. It invites us to consider our own place within this vast human story and our shared responsibility to honor the image of God within ourselves and in others. Thank you for joining us on this illuminating journey through Genesis, specifically chapters 9 and 10. We hope this exploration of new beginnings, divine promises, the persistent human condition, and the fascinating origins of nations deepens your understanding and appreciation for the foundational truths found within this ancient and living text. Next time, we will explore one of the most pivotal moments in early human history, directly flowing from this dispersion, the story of the Tower of Babel and the dramatic, divinely orchestrated diversification of humanity into distinct language groups, leading to their final dispersion across the globe. See you soon! Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed the content.